Hi there, welcome to this week's Weekend Warrior video. I'm Mike Watchmaker, National Handicapper for Daily Racing Form. Saturday is Pegasus World Cup Day at Gulfstream Park. The eyes of the racing world will be on Gulfstream for that $16 million event. And I'm going to talk about that race, and I'm also going to talk about two other stakes on the undercard at Gulfstream, the Hurricane Birdie and the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint. But let's begin with the Pegasus, and any discussion of this Pegasus has to go through Gunrunner, who was absolutely sensational, winning the Breeders' Cup Classic in his last start. And we're taping this on Thursday afternoon. And later this evening, Gunrunner is expected to be voted the 2017 Horse of the Year. I mean, I've always been kind of tough on Gunrunner. I thought that a lot of his big wins came with favorable trips and over questionable company, but he could not have been more impressive winning the Breeders' Cup Classic. Not only did he take severe early pace pressure from the then red-hot Collected, but he was the only horse on Breeders' Cup on Friday and Saturday to win while racing near the inside. The rail was absolutely dead on Breeders' Cup Friday and Saturday on the main track at Del Mar, and Gunrunner was the only bias buster. It was by far the best race he's ever run, and anything close to a duplicate of that race would be too much for this field, all things being equal. But all things are not equal. And that is because Gunrunner drew post 10, and this is a 1 1/8 mile race on the main track at Gulfstream Park, and has been detailed by many people, myself included, and you can read some of the details in the print or online editions of this Weekend Warrior story. Outside post positions are just dreadful, going 1 1/8 at Gulfstream Park, and as good as Gunrunner is, I think it's very easy to envision him getting caught 4 or 5 wide on the first turn. I do think that he's very susceptible to significant ground loss on that first turn, and at a very short price. To me, he's the kind of horse that I just have to take a shot against. And the horse that I'm going with is Gunavera. Gunavera finished soundly beaten fifth in the Breeders' Cup Classic. But he angled to the dead rail at the top of the stretch, and if he didn't do that, I think he probably could have finished a little bit higher. But it was still an okay effort in his part. It was his first start since the Travers, and I thought he ran very well, win a surprising second in the Travers. West Coast won that Travers Stakes, and he is in this Pegasus too, and he might draw a very sweet trip in this spot. But in any event, West Coast won that Travers after getting loose on a very easy, relatively slow-paced early lead. Gunavera still made a very bold 5-wide run around the far turn. It was a very eye-catching move to be a serious threat in upper stretch, but then he weakened a little bit late because West Coast had plenty left in the tank after getting away with those easy fractions. But I thought it was a very good effort in his part. He's now cutting back to 1 1/8, which I think might be to Gunavera's benefit. He certainly loves Gulfstream Park. And the weather forecast for Saturday at Gulfstream is one where it's going to be dry and breezy, and maybe the track will be not quite as glib as people might expect for Gulfstream to be on a big race day, and that might also assist Gunavera's big late kick. But I think Gunavera in the 15 to 18 to 1 range offers real value in this race, and I think he's a very plausible alternative to Gunrunner in this Pegasus. Gunrunner is going to take a lot of beating, but that outside post position at a very short price is making me try to beat him. Let's move on to the Hurricane Birdie. This is race 9. The Pegasus is race 12. And Curlin's approval is in this Hurricane Birdie, and Curlin's approval has got this massive Gulfstream reputation, and that is fashioned on her local record on the main track there, which is 7 wins from 11 starts. But I just don't know how really good Curlin's approval is. I mean, she's certainly a prolific winner, but I just don't think she's beaten very good horses in a lot of those wins. And for me, this race is all about Marley's Freedom. Marley's Freedom comes in from Southern California. She was a 3-year-old last year, and she showed vast improvement. She was a big allowance winner at Del Mar 2 starts back, a very impressive effort, an effort that gained her a start in the Grade 1 La Brea Stakes in her most recent outing, and she finished 4th in the La Brea in a very respectable effort. And the 3 fillies that finished in front of her, Unique, Bella, Paradise Woods, and Moppetism, I think are significant cut above anybody that she meets in this field. Marley's Freedom is the kind of filly that can adapt to any pace scenario, although I do think breaking from the rail, she's going to be involved early. And I think there's just a very good chance she could be simply better than this field. It's all about Marley's Freedom for me and the Hurricane Birdie. Let's wrap up this video with an analysis of the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint. And as you might imagine, for a 5-furlong turf race at Gulfstream, there's a lot of early speed in this race, and I want somebody who can close, and that somebody is Rainbow Air. Rainbow Air was beaten a nose in this race last year, much to my chagrin, and he's won 3 of 6 starts since, but I think without question, his best performance since that nose loss in this race last year was his win last time out in the Aqueduct Turf Sprint. It was a solid performance on his part. He's got the closing style that I really want in this race, and he's got a Ortiz Jr. who fits horses like this like a glove, and he's also been riding great down at Gulfstream Park. I'm looking for Rainbow Air to get up in the late stages and get the money and the Gulfstream Park Turf Sprint. That's it for this week's Weekend Warrior video. Good luck.